There are many people who, by being attached to a martial arts and taking apprentices, believed that they have arrived at the full stature of a warrior. But it is a regrettable thing to put forth much effort and in the end become an artist. In artistic technique, it is good to learn to the extent that you will not be lacking. In general, a person who is versatile in many things is considered to be vulgar and to have only a broad knowledge of matters of importance. When something is said to you by the master, whether it is for your good or bad fortune, to withdraw in silence shows perplexity. You should have some appropriate response. It is important to have resolution beforehand. I am not a martial arts master. I'm not. I am not. I don't have the thing that these other great individuals happen to have. What I do possess is a thirst for knowledge and the ability to dissect it in a unique perspective and in a unique way. That's what gives me my leg up. That is where I stand firmly within my martial journey. I am beyond honored and grateful that the masters that I have had conversations with on this podcast, the masters that I've met in real life, that they have sat down and given me the time that they have. I cannot thank them enough, and I cannot express what I have learned merely from words alone. I don't know if this podcast is working for anybody else, but it damn sure is working for me. That's all that matters, and that's why we're going to keep going. Today I sat down with Anthony, and he waters the tree that's inside of me, which is the thought of going to Japan. So we have an amazing conversation about the history of Japan, about the culture of Japan, as well as his own martial arts journey, his own martial perspectives. And the conversation felt like I was being called home in some ways. It is so incredibly hard to be human, guys, isn't it? I hope you enjoy it. If you are a martial artist and would like to be part of this podcast, if you know a martial artist would like to be part of this podcast, if you'd like to call me a prick, an asshole, tell me that I'm wrong. If you'd like to email me and tell me how great Japan is, if you'd like to try and convince me that I need to move to Japan, you can do all of these things and more at keepkickingpod@gmail.com. The world's your oyster. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Keep kicking.
Keep kicking, never quitting. Focus sharp like a blade that's hitting. From white belt dreams to the master flow, Paul Coffey's got the mic, now the stories grow. Technique entails discipline and fire. Each guest brings truth to inspire. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise. It's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Old school, new school, all styles blend. From the mat to the mic where the arts ascend. Philosophy deep, but the vibe stays tight. Martial minds meeting in the podcast light. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise. It's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Keep kicking. Keep kicking. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Technique entails discipline and fire. Each guest brings truth to inspire. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise. It's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Keep kicking. Keep kicking. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Keep Kicking, martial arts podcast where I have martial conversations with my martial arts friends. Today, I sit down with Anthony. And Anthony, would you like to introduce yourself for the people at home?
Yeah. My name's Anthony Hughes, martial artist out of the Phoenix, Arizona area. My dojo's in Gilbert, Arizona, outside of Phoenix. I've been studying martial arts for 53 years, teaching for the past 38. We'll get into everything I've done from Okinawan karate to jiu-jitsu to Filipino martial arts. But that's basically me in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Well, now we're going to crack the nutshell open.
All right.
So tell me what got you started in martial arts.
Let's see. The PG version of the story is I grew up really poor, and the YMCA had a martial arts program, and it was a place for me to go after school. And we were poor enough where it was free. And so it gave me a place to go after school. I didn't mean to become a martial artist. It was just my parents worked. I was raised by a single mom, well, most of the time, and needed a place to put me, after school and stuff, the typical 60s and 70s latchkey kid. And gave me a place to hang out. They'd, give me a meal. I got to take martial arts classes for free, get help with homework, stuff like that at the YMCA. And that's how I got started. My first martial art was judo. I did that for the first 3 years, from the time I was like 7 years old till I was 10. Competed in judo competitions and fun stuff like that. But that's awesome. That's how I got started.
Awesome. Very cool. What kept you going?
Man, I had kind of a rough life, as a lot of underprivileged kids do. And when you grow up I don't know how to say this, but I don't want to sound bad about anybody or anything. In the 60s and 70s, when I grew up, there was still racism. I'm of mixed race, and life got difficult sometimes.
Sure.
And growing up really poor and everything, we didn't eat every day. Life just got difficult, and I can see where kids drop out of school and fend for themselves. And the fact that I had a sensei that would encourage me to be positive, encourage me to keep going, encourage me not to do bad things, to be a good person, all the things that martial arts teach you, in the dojo, you strive for improvement every day. You strive to make yourself better. And the things we learn in the dojo, we really are supposed to carry throughout our lives. the self-improvement we see in the dojo, we should be trying to self-improve ourselves every day. And having my senseis throughout the years have been the people that were more like a father to me and gave me a positive male role model and basically kept me in line. Because my sensei found out I wasn't doing my homework, there'd be problems. Back then it wasn't, today's parents a lot of times, and as I've been teaching for almost 38 years now, today's parents will tend to, well, they didn't do this, so I'm not letting them come to karate. I always tell my parents, no, if they act up, you bring them and tell me. Because we're on the same team. We want children and adults to be good people. And children, especially when they know they're going to be held accountable by everybody in their life, because it takes a village to raise a child. And they know that, because a lot of times they see sensei different than they see parents. But anyway, so that's what kind of kept me going, and I'm kind of getting off track here. That's what kept me going. It was my safe place. It was my happy place. It was the place I learned how to be a good person. I learned how to be a good young man and become a good man in my life. It was a place that I could avoid bad temptations, and it was a place that I could work out aggression in a safe, positive way, because you get to hit people. And when you grow up that way, when you want to hit people, you can go out in the street and fight, or you can go join tournaments.
Right.
And then you also had to learn about defeat, because a lot of and I'm sure we'll get into this, when you lose the ability to lose and not lose your temper because you lost, to lose graciously, or to accept the fact you lost, accept the fact that even though you did your very best, it wasn't good enough. And tomorrow you have to make your best better. If you can accept that from a young age, you can accomplish greatness in your life. And all those things I learned in the dojo, into adulthood. This wasn't just as a child. These are things that I learned into adulthood from a dojo, from my senseis that at different dojos throughout my life. So that's what kept me going, was the positive role models in the dojo that I could model my life after and give me something positive to look towards. It's why I became a martial arts instructor, so I could pass that on to other people as well.
Absolutely. So where did you go from YMCA? You were doing judo, and then what happened?
The YMCA switched instructors, and I ended up doing some style of karate. I was young, so I apologize. I did not know that when you're 10 years old, you don't know that, hey, you're going to be a martial artist one day and teach, and people are going to know where you started. So you have to remember the dates and your sensei's name. I was 10. He was sensei. I have no idea what his name was.
Right.
But I went on to karate, and then we moved. That was back in Schaumburg, Illinois, by the way. I used to live in Chicago. In the late 70s, we moved out to Arizona. My family came out here for work opportunities and stuff, and the fact that it doesn't snow. I don't know if you've ever been to Chicago, but don't go in the winter.
Yeah.
Do not go in the wintertime. And I switched a bunch of different martial arts depending on where I lived. We moved around a little bit. We got here in Arizona, lived in an apartment, then we bought a house, and my parents divorced, and we moved somewhere else. And so every couple of years I was switching dojos because I was getting there on a bicycle. And so you just went where it was close enough to get to on a bicycle. If it wasn't the same style, you just started over.
Sure.
I just always wanted to train. And so I bounced around from American Kempo to Taekwondo to Shotokan. I finally found, it was funny, it was at the Chandler Rec Center. Just got divorced. I was broke, and I needed to get back into training. I wanted to get back into a dojo. I always trained, but during my divorce, I quit going to the dojo. The school I was going to shut down. And so I said, well, I can afford the rec center. It's like $27 every 2 months. I can afford that. And it turned out to be a really great decision. That class led me on to traveling to Okinawa to train, to a lot of great things. all
Tell
from
me
a
about
little.
tell me about traveling to Okinawa training.
Okinawa is one of my favorite places on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person I've taken there says the same thing. Um, my girlfriend went with me on my last trip, which was last year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm going to self promote a little bit. I got promoted to seventh degree black belt from the Masters in Okinawa.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
But actually, I got promoted in Okinawa by the Grandmasters in Okinawa. It's a legitimate rank. It's not a, I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the term McDojo, but there's a lot of them. It's not a rank of a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
guys getting together, promoting each other.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
but anyway, I took her there and she'd heard the stories and everything. And the way I talk about Okinawa, people think I'm exaggerating. They think that it can't be that great. It just can't be. You've got to be exaggerating.
Mm-hmm.
And she left there going, "We're coming back. This is my favorite place now, too. This place is awesome."
Nice. I've
So,
not been to Japan out of
mhm.
fear of not wanting to come home.
Yeah.
So
Have you been to mainland Japan or Okinawa?
I've not been to Japan
Oh,
at
you've not
all
been there. Okay.
out of fear of not wanting to come home.
It happens to more people than you know. Um,
Yeah.
like one of my favorite dojos in Okinawa is run by an Englishman. Um,
Oh.
who moved. He went to Okinawa to train. Um, and he stayed forever. He actually married an Okinawan woman. They've got 2 or 3 kids now. He's at a dojo there in Okinawa. Um, he's a really fantastic martial artist. He's a great guy. Um, but yeah, we met one guy there that lives not he actually lived, I don't know, 2 miles from where my girlfriend lives right now. Before we moved to Okinawa, and me
That's
and him had
wild.
actually crossed paths before. We met so many people in Okinawa that were from either France, Canada, the United States that just went there and stayed. That they went there to train for 2 weeks and like, we're gonna find a way to be here, and made it happen. So it happens a lot.
Man. Well, you're reaffirming my own fear.
What style do you train in, if you don't mind me asking?
Shaolin Kempo is
Okay,
my base style,
all
but
right,
I've done some Japanese jiu-jitsu that was taught seminar based here in Louisville. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, and Tai Chi, some Wing
all right.
Chun. So mostly Chinese yielding arts. I did spend the latter part of my 20s and into my 30s in Budo Taijutsu and just a school that just taught all of the Bushido arts. So there
Okay,
was an Aido instructor. There was
nice.
So I am versed in. We say both sides of the language, the Japanese and the Chinese.
Okay.
Uh, it's always been a thing for me where I was like, the idea of going to China and studying, cool. The idea of going to Japan and having to come home is the problem.
I always recommend to people that are into martial arts to go to
Mm-hmm.
Okinawa, not mainland Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Okinawa is its own place, like Hawaii is to us. If you go to
Yeah.
Hawaii and tell them they're American, they get upset with you. They're Hawaiian. Yes, they're
Right.
part of America. I'm not denying that. I don't want anyone jumping down my throat. Yes, I know they belong. They're a state here. But when you go to Hawaii, they're Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okinawans are Okinawan. They're not Japanese. They're a whole different culture.
Okay.
Where the Okinawans are a much more laid back culture.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mainland Japan is much busier, much more high
Yeah.
tech, much
Mm-hmm.
more competitive as far as job wise, life wise, everything. The Okinawans are
Mm-hmm.
much more laid back people. They still live kind of in the past. Um,
Okay.
they're probably the most polite, honest people you're ever going to find in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're I don't know, they're fantastic, and they're welcoming. They're friendly. I could go on forever, but Okinawa is its own place, and they train differently. In Japan turned karate into a sport.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they took the original karate, which was an all-encompassing art. They do
Yeah.
groundwork. They do grappling. They do it all. And I think it's a shame that most people only think of karate from tournaments that came from Japan and into America, where they purposely took out all the fun stuff.
Right.
When a Funakoshi got hired by the Japanese government to go teach karate, they were looking for something to compete with Western boxing, which is why they brought karate over. Because
I did
Western
not know
boxing
that.
in the 1920s has been very popular all over the world. And there's a story about a boxer that was traveling with what we would consider like a vaudeville show, challenging people. And I don't know if you heard of Matobu Sensei, Choki Matobu, the one that made Nahanchi Kata famous because he actually beat this boxer in a 3-round competition. The boxer is twice his size and half his age, and he prevailed over him. So the Japanese government was like, well, we want something, we're better than them. We want something better than boxing. We can use this karate stuff. They punch and kick. Boxing just punches. We're twice as good. But they had to take all the grappling out to make it a sport. And that's where all our tournament karate comes from. And then from there, from Japan to America, and Taekwondo got involved. I'm going to say something that's nowadays we have the internet, so this is becoming more prevalent and known. Taekwondo is not from Korea. Taekwondo is from Japan. Original Taekwondo, their katas look just like the Heian katas of Japan, which look similar to the Pian katas of Okinawa. And that's because Taekwondo is Shotokan that kicks more.
Okay.
But they started with a Shotokan base in Korea. Taekwondo was invented to become Korea's national sport to try to unify North and South Korea after World War II. We now know they failed, but that was they were trying to do it. So Taekwondo is actually Korea's national sport. I'm not saying anything bad about it before all the people jump on me again. it is what it is. It was invented in 1947 to be Korea's national sport. It's not 2,000 years old. It doesn't have a base anywhere but Japan. And if you ever watch Taekwondo competitions, they hold their hands really low because they're not allowed to punch to the head. So no reason to keep your hands up. All these things contributed to our tournament series that we have here in America. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about it. It is what it is, but that's not karate. That is not the original intent of karate. In Okinawa, it's taught as life protection, and not like in Okinawan tournaments, they don't spar. They only do kata.
Okay.
Because if you I'm sure you've seen tournaments, and people always make the same comment. You did that in a real fight, you'd get killed. And they're right, you would. You're trying to score points in a tournament. You're not trying to kill the other person. You're not trying to even injure the other person. You're trying to score points. There's nothing wrong with scoring points. There's nothing wrong with if you become a tournament champion, you put forth a ton of effort and you were very dedicated to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, as you said before, the internet just roasts people for everything. They're very the internet itself is a very judgmental place. And back to what I said originally 15 minutes ago before I went on my little rant, I think it's a shame that people don't understand what karate really is.
You tell everybody what karate really is.
Karate is an all-encompassing art for life protection. Everyone's familiar with katas, and nowadays on the internet, when you see the subject of kata comes up, everyone's like, oh, it's useless. It's just a dance. It's this and that. Kata not only contains the movements that will help you fight, but it also contains a strategy that will help you fight. And that's the part most people miss. There's a strategy built into your katas of how to win a battle. Not just how to hit them, where to hit them. That's all in there as well. And you don't follow the kata. You don't follow the whole kata like it's not multiple opponents. There's nobody on your left. There's nobody on your right. There's no one in front of you, no one behind you. And I was taught that, by the way, when I was young, because that's what everyone thought. It's a theoretical fight against multiple opponents. And I always thought to myself, if I'm being attacked by 5 or 6 guys, that's a gang. It's the most polite gang on the planet because they all wait their turn. I've never seen gang members wait their turn like that. I don't get it.
Right.
I used to ask my sensei these questions, and they just get upset with me. In karate, your opponent is always in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
There is no one to your left. Well, why'd you turn to your left? To teach our body to move with our left side. It's just
Mm-hmm.
a way that we move to teach our body big motion, to teach gross motor skills so they can become a reaction. So karate is, we do grappling, we do groundwork. We fight on the ground for one reason and one reason only: to get back up. If someone, because we realize maybe you get tackled, you end up on the ground. I don't live in perfect. Sometimes bad things happen that I don't expect. You better know how to get back
Mm-hmm.
to your feet, how to fight from the ground to get back to your feet. I
Absolutely.
cannot defend myself against more than one person if I'm on the ground, and I can't run away if I'm outnumbered on the ground. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yes, and everyone's like, "Oh, you guys don't do any groundwork." Yeah, we do. Karate's
Mm-hmm.
original name was Karate Jitsu. Everything that's in, not everything in jiu-jitsu, I'm not talking Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I'm talking about Japanese jiu-jitsu. Everything in
Yeah.
Japanese jiu-jitsu is in karate. It's where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
When it went to Japan, they split everything up. Judo became its own sport. Jiu-jitsu became its own sport. Karate became its own sport. Where in Okinawa, they're all
Mm-hmm.
one art. So everything you see, the wrist locks you see in Japanese jiu-jitsu, the throws you see in judo, the submission techniques that you see in judo and jiu-jitsu are all in karate. And
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing I try to convey to people is, this is what karate is. It's an all-encompassing self-protection art designed to protect your life.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the first time you went to Okinawa. How did you get there? What called you there?
All right.
Yeah.
You were asking about
Okay.
my first time to Okinawa.
Yes.
The first time I went to Okinawa was with the association that I train with, Shornu Shorinkan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was for 2 weeks. We had a week of time training with the Grandmaster in the home dojo in Okinawa, Japan. And we had a week basically to sightsee. We actually went about a half a week before and a half a week after. So we're there like from a Wednesday, got there through the week, and then left like the following Friday or something, Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
So we had 2 weekends there. We went snorkeling. We ate a lot of great food. Oh my God, the food is so good. And not just the Japanese food, all the food there is good. There's a chef on the internet, and me and my girlfriend are laughing because we when we went to Okinawa this last time, people will ask her, "What was your favorite thing there?" Okay, and she's sitting right here next to me. All right, and go ahead and say it.
Egg salad.
Okay, one of her
Really?
favorite things was an egg salad sandwich that we got from a grocery store. It was fresh made every day.
Bakery.
Yeah, it was a bakery and a grocery store. So it was fresh made bread, fresh made egg salad every day. Everything there is so fresh. I swear to you, if you go to a convenience store at 11 o'clock at night looking for a snack and get some fried chicken, it'll be better than anything you've ever had. I don't understand. Well, any fried chicken you've ever had. She's giving me a look over here. Their sushi
She's like, it's not
better.
better than the egg salad.
Yeah. She's agreeing with you. But it was funny because there's a chef I follow named Guga online, and he went to Japan. He's like, he goes, "This is going to sound crazy, but I've had Wagyu beef, sushi, all the best stuff." He goes, "Get the egg salad." He goes, "It's amazing."
Well, okay. So my first question to your trip in Japan,
Yes.
and this might just speak more to like the nature of me. How in the world do you not just spend 2 weeks in the dojo? Like, how do you have to make yourself go snorkeling? and enjoy the
Oh, well,
sightseeing? Because for me, I'd just be like, I mean, we're here for another week. Can we just train for another week?
well, here's what we did do.
Okay.
We had a scheduled time in our home dojo.
Uh huh.
Okay. Because they're busy. They have regular classes and everything. So they scheduled
Sure.
time just for us. We were there
Sure.
between 2 and 3 hours a night, depending on what we were doing. We were the last class there. So we'd get there at 6 o'clock and train till we were done. So we
We
made there
love
be till
this.
maybe it'd be till 9.
Right.
Which was great. We actually went around because I've made connections with different people. Um, we went to the Asado dojo, trained with them. We went out to a park where people were training and trained with them. We would train every morning with all the elderly people out in the park in the morning doing their morning ritual exercises. Um, and that was actually one of the best parts. They have a radio program in Okinawa that plays every morning at 6 a.m. Okay. And if you
Yeah.
go to any public park, they're full of people doing their morning exercises. Okay. Every single day, 7 days a week. That's how they start their day, with an hour-long exercise class that is broadcast nationally. Companies do it as well. You go to work at 6 a.m., you go out to the yard, you do your exercises, you clock in, you're getting paid. Then you go to work because then you're refreshed and your body's ready to move and you're ready to do things, you're more productive. Um, so there's a lot of different training opportunity in Okinawa.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we went to a lot of it. We went to a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then by going to the different training opportunities, it's like, well, we're going here for lunch. And we sit and talk to some of the Okinawans and some of the people traveling there. And then it's like, oh, we're having to get
Mm-hmm.
together at my apartment tonight. And we got invited there. And be friendly, be open, talk to people, and experience Okinawa. It is more, yeah, I understand what you're saying. You just want to go and train. I get that.
Right.
But it
Right.
is so
Right.
much more than just the training.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You really want to understand your art, understand the culture and the people that comes from, to give you
That's
a deeper
that.
understanding of the art itself.
That is the best answer you could have possibly given. While you're talking, I do think my
Mhm.
bags are packing themselves so that I can go. Um,
Well, my next
oh.
trip, I started a new position at my job, so I don't have the vacation time to go this year. Our
Mm-hmm.
next trip is for World Karate Day. It's a national holiday in Okinawa, by the way. World Karate Day 2026 is my next trip going. Where I'm taking a group there. For World Karate Day, they do a few different events. They've got the world's largest tug of war. The rope is 5 feet in diameter and 100 yards long, and they've got
Wow.
2,000 people competing, trying to pull it through the city. They do the 100 kata challenge where you get together on a beach or in a park. And when we were there for the weapons one, the last time we did do a weapons challenge in April, and they do the open hand kata challenge in October. It's October 25th, by the way, is World Karate Day. Um, so they'll do the 100 kata challenge, get up there, do a kata 100 times in a row. Um,
I love everything that I'm hearing.
Yeah. And
I'm
then they get all the karate people together to do kata simultaneously throughout the streets of Naha, which is their main city. It's their capital. So look, when we're done with this, I want you to Google World Karate Day Okinawa, and
yeah.
you'll see pictures of thousands, 4, 5, 6,000 people doing kata together. They shut all the streets down, no cars, through every direction and down every street. It's nothing but people in gis doing kata together, coming together for the love of karate. And it doesn't matter what
Paradise.
style you are.
Paradise.
None of that's important. It's it's just to come together as karateka and train to show your love of karate and connect.
It sounds too good to be true.
Google it. I swear it's true.
Too good to be true.
But our next trip is 2026, October of 2026. I got some friends that are going this October. I just couldn't swing it with my new position at work.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand that. I understand that. Life gets in the way of perfectly good karate training.
Every once in a while it does, yeah.
Right. So, man, there's a lot there. Tell me about competing. When did you get into competing?
I hate competing. I absolutely despise competing. The last time I competed seriously was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
The time before that was about 27 years earlier.
Okay.
I grew up competing. I competed in judo because they're a sport. That's what you do. My first year of competing in judo, I did not only did I lose every single match, I didn't score a single point the entire year. I got beat. I got shut out every single match the entire year. I was horrible. Just so you know, my nickname in karate as a kid was worst student ever. I wish that was a joke. It's really not. And my one instructor would say it in Japanese. I thought he was saying something cute, and it's like, nope, he wasn't. He meant it in the nicest way.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
You've been around the block in karate, and I'm sure you've seen this. When you get someone that comes into martial arts, any I don't care what kind of karate training, this holds true for any training, not just martial arts. And they pick it up just like that, right? They don't last. Because at some point they'll be challenged. And if they make it like their first 3 belts without and they do it, they just boom, boom, boom. It comes automatic to them. They never have to practice at home. They don't have to work for it. When they come up to something they do have to work for, they're not mentally prepared. The student that is the worst student but never quits, that's the student that'll make the black belt. Because by the time they do learn it, they've done it 1,000 times. They'll never forget it.
For sure.
But that's the student of perseverance to get the black belt. So my sensei got in front of class one day. He had a nickname for me. He'd say it in Japanese. I do not remember the term in Japanese, but roughly translated, it means stupid. It's not mean. I swear to God, you're going to like this. Okay?
Right.
Years later, we're in class. Well, I'll give you a funny one right before I do this. I looked at him one day and said, Sensei, that nickname you call me, does it mean stupid? He looked at me and goes, Tony-san, how long I call you that? I went, the past 9 years. He goes, hi, stupid. Okay, I guess I deserve that. Well, anyway, we're in class one day, and I raised my hand to ask a question, and one of the higher ranks behind me kind of rolled his eyes, and his name was Mark. I'm not going to give his last name. I don't want people roasting him.
Right.
And Sensei looks at him. Now, if I impersonate Sensei, I mean, don't disrespect any cultures, okay? Because it's just how Sensei talks. He did not pronounce R's very well. So Mark was Mock, okay? And Sensei goes, Mock, why you make face? And Mark's like, never mind, it's okay. He goes, no, why you make face? He goes, Tony is always asking questions. He's always asking about this, asking about that. I just want to train. We always have to stop when you answer his questions. He goes, oh, I got an idea, Mock. You answer his question then. He goes, Tony-san, ask Mock. So I turn around and ask Mark the question. Mark thought about it for a minute, gave me an answer to the question. Then Sensei looks at me and goes, what do you think of Mock's answer? I said, I think he's a higher rank than me, and I'm not going to say anything. Sensei goes, I higher rank. I ask you what you think. Tell me. I'm like, crap, now what do I do, right? I was like, well, to be perfectly honest, Sensei's answer didn't make any sense. It went directly against what you teach us. He goes, you're right, he did. Mock's answer, not so good. And he looked at the class and he goes, I realize that a lot of you think Tony is stupid because he always asks questions. Every day he raises his hand. Tony's so stupid. You're all thinking he is so stupid. He is so stupid. He doesn't know anything because he always has to ask. He goes, maybe the rest of you should be so stupid.
Absolutely.
So him calling me stupid wasn't a put down.
Yeah.
He was actually very glad I didn't care if I appeared stupid by asking questions every single day.
Yeah.
That I was willing to admit I didn't know something and ask questions about it.
Absolutely.
It took me a long time to realize that's what he meant. But it was actually that day that he did that. I went, oh, that's why he calls me stupid. Because I ask questions. I'm not afraid to be stupid. I'm not afraid to look stupid.
I tell people that I am the worst martial arts instructor that you will ever come across. But I am the best student to have in class because I lead with curiosity. And so we do ask a lot of whys and break down why this works
Mm-hmm.
for me and why it won't work for you. And, we discuss the fact that I'm 6'5.5", 210.
Okay.
And so fundamentally, I'm going to move vastly different than my students.
I preach the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know how tall you are, but I
I'm
imagine
5'10".
we move differently.
Yeah.
We do different things. And I try and do the culture where that's okay. It's okay
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have my front kick or whatever. I need you to have
Absolutely.
your front
Mm-hmm.
kick. So that's interesting. I just want to go to Japan now,
Yeah.
actually.
What I recommend is take a tour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a tour guide there that particular I'll recommend to you. Take a tour. It's 4 hours or so around the island. And
Mm-hmm.
he's a martial artist. He's a karate guy. So you
Okay.
can do a history tour. Sorry, my cat was over here
You're
trying to
fine.
get me to pet her. Um, anyway, and I said
Now
something to that girl as soon as you look at me. She said, "You said your cat. You like my cat." Yeah.
I want a copy of this recording.
But take a
we can
tour.
handle that.
Yeah, take a tour. He'll take you all the different karate sites that are important to karate, different grandmasters' tombs, explain who they were. He'll take you to the best places to eat you've ever been. If you want to buy weapons, go to the hardware store. So like kamas and stuff, you'll get better quality kamas at a hardware store, and they're authentic because people still use them as garden tools there, than you will at a martial arts store. And they'll be
Wild.
10 times cheaper. Kamas in a
Okay.
martial arts store, you pay $30 a piece for them. In a hardware store, they're $3.
Okay.
Now, before my students go, but Sensei, you charge me $30 delivery charge. I had to go to Okinawa to get them.
Fair enough.
You want to spend well, actually, my last trip was $1,700 for the plane ticket. You want to buy yourself a $1,700 plane ticket? Go buy them for $3.
Right. It's actually a cheap delivery fee when you think about it.
Yeah. But definitely take the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Find out where other dojos are. There are dojos that are more traditional that you kind of need an invitation to go to, but there's also dojos that are very open-minded. Here's the silver lining of the COVID cloud. Japan was closed down for a very long time during COVID. They just opened up like 2 years ago for travel and stuff. So you had all these senseis there that had no way to contact their students because a lot of the Okinawans, they don't like technology, especially the older ones.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like things being recorded. They want you to come to dojo and learn, not record it and look at it later. They want you present, learning, not thinking about recording.
Sure.
But they had 4, 5, almost 6 years. They couldn't have contact with a student. Nobody could travel.
Mm-hmm.
So they started opening themselves up to technology, and the Asado Dojo was very influential, and because they had all the equipment, and these older masters would come to the Asado Dojo to connect and do Zoom classes to connect to their students around the world. And in doing that, anyone that had paid for a Zoom class, they basically got an open invitation. Come to when you come to Okinawa, come visit our dojo. We'd love to see you in person.
That's awesome.
So there's a variety of dojo you can now go to that because of, I hate to say anything good came of COVID, but this opened up a lot of things for martial artists. Because of what happened during COVID, they got a little more open-minded going, hey, we should see more people when we have the chance. That chance may get taken away again someday. Let's not be so stingy with our knowledge. Let's actually see more people. And so there's numerous dojos that are more open-minded to strangers and foreigners coming into their dojo to train for a day or two.
Okay. So I'm going to switch gears just a little bit.
Okay.
And I am extremely excited to get your so this podcast I talk to people about their history, we talk
Mhm.
about the culture and how they've studied, and then we talk a little bit about martial arts in its present form. And there are a couple of questions that I ask just about everybody, and I am
Okay.
so genuinely on a martial arts nerd level excited for your answers that I can't help myself. Okay. And the first question is, what do you think the average martial arts practitioner neglects in their own practice?
One more time. I
What do
didn't
you
hear all
think?
of it.
What do you think the average martial arts practitioner neglects in their own practice?
That collects in their own practice.
Neglects.
Neglects. Okay.
Yes.
Um, from what I've seen, this is universal across anything that people practice.
Mm-hmm.
They neglect what they suck at.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
In bodybuilding, when you get guys that aren't professional bodybuilders but go work out, they've got some weak body part because they suck at that, and so they focus on whatever they're strongest at. And I see so many martial artists that do the same thing. If they've got a really great front kick, they practice it a lot, and if their side kick sucks, they neglect it because they don't like to suck.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing I think is neglected by everyone in martial arts, though, is the actual knowledge of their whatever martial art they have.
Mm-hmm.
Martial arts in Okinawa is the collaboration of Okinawan grappling, Okinawan hand-to-hand combat,
Mm-hmm.
and in the 1300s, around 1370, they had a collaboration with China. China taught us, hey, you put those 10,000 different hand-to-hand combat moves into forms, they're a lot easier to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And these days, people, you've seen on the internet, and I'm going to just comment on America right now because, I'm American, that's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to try to go, oh, they used to do it this way. And that's not practical anymore in today's world. We have to reinvent it. They never learned
Absolutely.
the actual knowledge in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
People back, say, in the 1200s, 1300s, 1400s, their lives were harder than ours. Now,
Absolutely.
they didn't consider themselves having a hard life. That was normal to them, that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't have running water, you didn't have electricity, all the things that we take for granted, they didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to go hiking to get water from a spring to bring back to wherever you were. Think about it. Okinawa is surrounded by what? Salt water. You can't drink it. There's a spring
Right.
in the middle of the island, and you got to go hike to bring water back. They didn't have electricity, all these things. So they were tougher people. Plain and simple. They were tougher then than we are now. Mentally, physically, they were tougher. But again, to them, it was normal. So when you trained, you were training because your life depended on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you were attacked by bad guys, and this is universal, what do bad guys do always? They use an advantage. You said you're 6'5"?
Yeah.
Okay, nobody that's 5'5" is going to walk up without a weapon or something and go, I'm going
Right.
to kick your butt. Give me your wallet
Right.
or I'm going to kick your butt. They're going to come up with a knife, a gun, something else that gives them an advantage over you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's been throughout all. That's a human condition from Cain and Abel with a rock, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a human condition. Think back to their time period now. Go back 1200, 1300.
Mm-hmm.
When you trained, if you were a bad guy, your life depended on it. You had to get food. You had to get this. You had to get that. If you looted, plundered, and pillaged, looted, and plundered, you were trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me some punk with a knife today is better than a punk with a knife back then.
Right.
Not happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing that worked against someone with a knife or a sword then will work today. Probably even better because the people today aren't trained as well.
Absolutely.
Now, people will bring up guns, of course, today.
Mm-hmm.
Guns are a bullet supersonic, and that's what people need to understand. So there's no such thing as dodging a bullet because by the time you hear the gun go off, it hit you like half a second ago. So if you hear the gun go off, someone's already dead. You can't dodge. It's done. So there is, and what I'm saying, there's no
Right.
self-defense against someone shooting you. You can run away if they missed, but if God, I feel bad saying this considering events of the past few days. What I was about to say just choked myself up. If someone wants you dead, you're gonna be dead before you know it.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, that happened on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel bad even bringing that up, but it's a harsh truth. He had no
so
defense against that, you know.
You bring that up, and I was reminded of what happened in September 11th. You know, and in September 11th, I taught at a martial arts school that is actually like up the hill or up the street from where I currently live at the time.
Okay.
And I was the only instructor that was scheduled to be there. I went, and there were no kids classes. All of the parents just kind of kept their kids home, which is to be expected. And so I'm sitting in an empty dojo, and I run some kata, I relax, I eat my little lunch that I had brought with me, and I'm just hanging out in an empty school for 2-3 hours, which was not uncommon. Balloons, which was not uncommon, but was uncommon because of the circumstances of why I was there.
Right.
But then the adult class came around, and we had 4 people show up for the adult class. And they all showed up, and they were like, we didn't even know if you were going to have class. We didn't know. We don't even really know what to do with ourselves right now. So we came to the dojo because that's where we're supposed to come. Right?
Right.
And I said, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do what we should do as martial artists. And we took the chairs that were in the lobby, and we organized them in the dojo, and we trained as though we were on planes, and what would we have done differently?
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's all that we can do. And so I don't think that it's wrong to bring up those things. I don't think that it's wrong to reference we are living in weird times and weird things happen. Are. And it's okay to talk about those things and just to express. Yeah, express.
It just choked me up a little bit with the current events, because I tell people this. This is one of the things I teach. I have people all the time. What about a gun? What do you do if they have a gun? If the gun is touching you, you can try and do something. If they're across the room, toss your wallet and run. That's it. And people say, well, I toss it to the side and then toss that to confuse them. No, you're going to piss them off. They're going to shoot you. Just give them what they want, run away. Toss it right to them. Nothing in your wallet's worth your life, guys. Toss it right to them, and then just run like hell. Real simple. That's how you defend against a gun. Again, if the gun's actually touching you, okay, now we can try something.
Right.
But if it's not that close, there's nothing you're going to do. The bullets are supersonic.
And it's also important that we realize how fragile human life is, and if somebody wants somebody dead, it can happen.
Yeah.
So, and that, like, in my humble opinion, that has nothing to do with your race, your religion, your creed, your philosophy, your political affiliation. If somebody wants you dead, it's proven that it can happen regardless. So
yeah, and that's the other thing about the dojo. The dojo cares that you're there. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care if you're straight or gay or male or female. Like you said, black, white, or purple. Y'all going to leave black and blue, so it doesn't matter what color you came in.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so the next question that I'm very excited to ask is it's a discussion that has been ongoing both in my current teaching climate and on this podcast. And it starts with an omission. The omission is, as a martial artist, I recognize, like a lifetime martial arts practitioner, I recognize that I myself am equal parts sadistic and masochistic, and that I am rare in that. But that is something that I share with my fellow lifelong martial arts practitioners. The question is, how do you teach somebody that is not violent to be violent enough to defend themselves?
One of the first things I do, like when I teach women self-defense, okay, is I look the women in the eye and I go, you have permission to hurt someone. And they look at me, I go, you have permission to hurt someone who's trying to hurt you. Someone who wants to hurt you. And here's what I explain to people. All bad guys, career bad guys, I'm not talking some kid that stole a candy bar, but career bad guys, they are all, not a percentage, all, and this is a proven, this you can look this up, it's proven, sociopaths or psychopaths. That's it. Okay, that was my cat. She's really upset that I'm holding the phone for an hour and not petting her. Jumping around. In any case, they're all sociopaths or psychopaths. Okay, and people go, well, what's the difference? I go, well, a sociopath, their give a shit is broken. Hope I can say that on a podcast.
You can, absolutely.
Okay. They know right from wrong. They just don't care. They have no empathy for you. They know they're going to hurt you. They don't care. They want what they want. That's all they care about. They do not care they're doing wrong. They know stealing your purse is wrong. They know raping you is wrong. They know stealing your car is wrong. They know beating you up and leaving you in the parking lot is wrong. They don't care. So there's no reasoning with them. You cannot go, oh, please, but I have a kid at home. Don't hurt me. They don't care. They just don't care. And people are like, well, then what's a psychopath? I go, a psychopath's the same thing, but they enjoy it. So when I'm teaching self-defense, the first thing I teach is this. Everything you think and you think you know about self-defense is wrong. If you think, well, if I just kick him in the groin, they'll leave me alone because I know I'd leave someone who only kick me in the groin. Oh, congratulations, you're not a psychopath. If you were a psychopath and somebody kicked you in the groin, you would feel anger first, pain second, because they're wired different. Once I get this through to people, if you are going to protect yourself against someone who is trying to do you harm, most of the time, if it comes to violence, the only way is to be violent. You're not going to talk your way out of it. You have to. And once they understand that, it's a little easier for them. The biggest thing I find is trying to teach, and when I teach kids and I teach women that are like in my regular class, here's something I discovered. See if this holds true with you. You teach kids also?
Yeah. Okay.
If I, like, say, punch a kid in the face, not hard, but just like punch them in the face a little bit, right?
Yeah,
right? You didn't hurt them, but they're shocked. If you go, whoop, when you punch them in the face, you get him harder, they think it's funny. If you make a funny noise when you hit them, they think it's funny, and they don't get all upset.
If you gamify it in any way.
Yes. And people are like, why do you always hit the kids? You're like, because I walk up to the kids, you're not going to break and whap, whap, whap. That's pretty good. Can I hit you harder? Yeah, hit me harder. Here's why I do that. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a pair of sisters, two sisters. Dad put them in class. They were being bullied in school. 6-8 months after they'd been taking lessons and everything, one of the bullies, who was a boy 2 years older than his daughter, got on her bus thinking, okay, I don't want to get in trouble at school, so when she gets off the bus, I'll beat her up. Okay? The bus stop happened to be near their house. Dad's on his way to meet his daughter at the bus stop just to make sure she's okay because they'd had issues. And he witnesses this. She's trying to get away. She realizes the kid got on her bus and she got off first, is trying to hurry up to get away without like running frantically. The kid is bigger than her and stronger, catches her, grabs her, spins her around, and punches her hard right in the chest. Just wham, hits her. Okay. She looked down at her chest, looked up at him and went, you know, my sensei hits me harder than that every single day, and punched him right in the face and dropped him.
Nice.
By playing games and actually but hitting them, because like you said, you're over 200 pounds. Even us hitting lightly, you know, when you hit the kid, you knock them back a few feet, you knock them back a little bit. You're putting
Yeah,
enough force into them to knock them around, right? Another
Right.
kid their age doesn't even hit that hard.
Right, for sure. Well, and the other
So
thing
you
too
kind
is
of get
that
them used to that. Not
you're
violence, but you get them used to the physicality of it where they're not afraid of it
yes.
anymore. Once they're
Yeah.
not afraid of it anymore, they can hit back because a lot of them fear hitting back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a built-in fear society puts into us. Once we realize we can get hit, we realize we can hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that's psychologically part of teaching people to be violent.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also teaching people that if you get hit, you're still okay.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. You don't
Yeah.
have to freak out
You
because you got hit.
yeah, you get hit, and that doesn't
Yeah,
mean freeze. That doesn't mean life discontinues. Like we keep
exactly.
going.
Exactly.
Yes. Uh this is great. Um what advice would you give to somebody that's watching this that hasn't started martial arts but they're thinking about
Start.
it? Mm-hmm.
Just start. Excuses you hear, I'm sure you've heard the same ones. Oh, I'm not in good enough shape to join martial arts. That's
Yeah.
like saying they're not in good enough shape to go work out and join the gym.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a runner, go run.
Mm-hmm.
Martial arts, and again, I've been in martial arts since 1972 is when I started.
Mm-hmm.
Martial arts is the single best thing you can do for a person, especially children, but it benefits adults just as much. Adults just have to be open-minded enough to allow the process to change them for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Martial arts does not create bullies. Martial arts will not teach your kid to be violent and go beat other kids up in school. I can give you 100% in my own experience that even if a kid comes in and they are a bully, because I had some kids that were bullies in my class.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were there. Their mom's like, he's a bully, he's this, he's that. And what can you do? I said, well, we'll fix that. Years later, he's not a bully anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's learned a different way. You know, he enjoys competition, but he's no longer a bully. He enjoys sparring, but he's no longer a bully.
Mm-hmm.
We rewired him.
Mm-hmm.
But just start. Don't wait. Start today, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Look up whatever dojo's close to you. Go visit a couple of them. Talk to the instructors and figure out who matches what you're looking for best. If you're trying to learn self-defense, do not go to a dojo that is primarily tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I tell people all the time, I don't teach a lot of tournaments. I don't. I'm going to circle back to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some friends of mine that teach and they go to tournaments on a regular basis. They're a tournament school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll recommend them to people. Hey, if you want your kid to win trophies and you want to go do that whole thing, man, that's awesome. I don't do that. Here's a guy that does. He's very good at it. And he does the same thing. He's like, yeah, if you're looking for someone that's more self-defense based and doesn't do tournaments, you need to go see Tony because that's what he does. He doesn't do tournaments. You had asked me about tournaments before. I competed as a kid. In 2018, in answer to the Olympics, the Okinawan started what they call the World Tournament. It's every 4 years, just like the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Our grandmaster called me up and said, Tony-san, I want you to represent Shorin-Khan for the United States at the World Tournament this year. Will you be here? I was like, of course, yes, Sensei, I'll be there. I'm like, what did I get myself into? I haven't competed in 27 years.
Right.
So I joined a local tournament circuit, one that I used to be a part of 27 years ago. And now that all the people I competed against are now running it. They're all the judges and they're running it. They're not competing anymore. I'm over 60, by the way. So
Aging well, brother. Aging well.
and so I walked in to compete. Thinking I want to shake the ring rust off. I want to compete somewhere before I go to the largest, most important tournament of the whole world. I don't want it to be my first tournament in 27 years. So I go, okay, I'm gonna compete. I'm in the adult division, obviously. Since the tournament's mostly for kids, adult division is 18 and up. I'm in my late 50s, competing again. The next competitor to me in age was 22, and everyone else was 18 years old.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I can't. And I'm like, you know, they're wanting me to compete back to back. I'm like, give me a minute. Come on. You know?
Right.
I became Arizona State champion in 2 different divisions.
Congratulations.
In 2018, after not competing for 27 years.
Right.
which I felt good about competing against 18 and 20-year-olds.
Absolutely.
Then I promptly retired champion and never competed again.
Right.
And I did go on to the world tournament in Okinawa, and I placed 12th in the world.
Congratulations.
Which I wasn't really
It's-
happy about, because it's like, you go to a tournament, you want to win, right? A very good friend of mine took second place in the world. Very proud of him. It was a very close match for first and second place. It was a split decision. I figured, you know what? There's 7 billion people on the planet. I'm better than 11 of them were better than me that day. I'm okay.
right.
That's not bad.
No, I'm like 12th is very strong. 12th is good. No, nothing. You didn't slouch at all there. So,
But yeah, so yeah, that was, I wanted to, you asked me about tournaments before, and I
yeah,
get sidetracked a lot, as you know, as you can tell already. And that was
that's
one of the
okay.
things I wanted to add.
So that's okay. I
Yeah,
get
start
sidetracked
your
as
training,
well.
man. You gotta. And here's a piece of advice if you're looking for a dojo. Ask, and like a beginner, a yellow orange belt, go with a down block. Ask them what the move does. Listen to their answer. Okay? I don't care what the answer is. Doesn't matter what the answer is. Just listen to it. Go ask a black belt the same answer, the same question for the same move. If you get the exact same answer, find a new school.
Yes.
Because if you ask a kindergartner a math question, and you ask a college person a math question, and the college person does not know any more math than the kindergartner, you don't need to go there.
Absolutely.
That tells you they're a tournament school, and they're not doing any real technique. But that's the one piece of advice. If depending on what you're looking for, if you're looking for something for tournaments, that might be the school for you, because you're looking to compete, not for knowledge. If you're looking, but most adults, they search for knowledge, not just competitions. They actually want to learn as opposed to just competing.
Well, an adult has a very specific agenda, whereas a kid, and whether that agenda be need to get in better shape, need to work on flexibility, or defending themselves, or heaven forbid they were attacked and they don't want to be attacked anymore. So then it's out of fear. Adults have agendas, where most kids are just like, no, I want to do it. It's cool. Back when I started, it was because people wanted to be Batman or the Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
So, or saw what Bruce Lee was doing. Got to check Bruce Lee out. Is there anything that you would like to say that you didn't get a chance to say, other than I need to go to Okinawa?
Not just yourself. If you're a serious martial artist, go to your home country of where your martial arts come from, not just Okinawa.
Absolutely.
If you're into Chinese martial arts, go to Taiwan. Okay? Don't go to mainland China. From what I've been told, I've not been there, but my friends that do Chinese arts, because I've studied some Chinese arts, it's not enough to get a rank in. And even the grandmasters from China, they said go to Taiwan, because China's become so commercialized. You can go to the Shaolin Temple. You said you're Shaolin Kempo, right?
Yes.
You can go to the Shaolin Temple. You can call them up right now, arrange a trip. You could live there if you want. You want to live there for 3 months, 6 months, or a year? Just pay them. You want to go train for a day? Just pay them. I'm not putting them down at all. They have to survive in our world. And in our world, they need money to survive. They don't have a choice. I'm not calling them sellouts, but they have to sell out. They have to sell their product in order to survive. They have to pay taxes now. They have to do this. They have to do that. They have to buy things. They can't just have all their own stuff anymore. But it's gotten commercialized, where mainland Japan, karate's been commercialized. I heard from 3 instructors from the Budokan in Japan the government-sponsored training hall in Japan, I heard
Yeah.
directly from their mouths, there is no real karate in Japan. It's all been commercialized by the government for sport. The actual self-defense, life protection karate, they say doesn't, and this is what they told me. They said it doesn't exist there anymore.
So let me this topic. First of all, you're okay if we go a little longer than an hour. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So this
I'm
topic
sitting
has
on a
come
couch
up.
comfortable. I'm good.
Good. This conversation has come up on this podcast a couple of different times, right?
Mhm.
And it started Irish stick. This
Okay.
is the next thing in my martial journey. I
Nice.
ordered an Irish stick, a shillelagh.
Mhm.
I have a shillelagh coming for one of my students, and then we're going to start learning the Doyle Irish stick fighting system. But so
Nice.
the Doyle Irish stick fighting system is currently the chieftain of the system is Bernie Letty. I had him on my podcast, and he is working to bring it back to Ireland because it doesn't exist in Ireland. Irish stick fighting does not exist in Ireland because
yeah.
when the United Kingdom did their nasty bit to Ireland,
Mhm.
they pushed it out. So he
That's happened in a
being
lot of places.
Irish, right? Him being Irish, he had to go find it in Canada, of all
Mhm.
places, and bring it back, right? And so then the question is, we understand the motive was to make it a sport and to make it popular and to compete on a global stage.
Right.
But I postulate that the other reason that happened might have been systemic oppression, because if you have control over the martial art in your country and you make the martial art in your country more competitive and less martial value, don't you also have control over your people?
To some extent, I'd have to agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd
Do
have to agree with that.
you think that has happened in Japan and karate?
Could be. The government does control karate in Japan directly.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that I just recently spoke with a gentleman, and his podcast his episode comes out this Thursday. So if you
Okay.
want to check it out, you should check it out. But he teaches traditional karate in Germany,
Okay.
and he doesn't teach it in the traditional way. He teaches it in a very open way, expressing what techniques are. And he talked about how the Russian government has control over karate, and talks about, first of all, the Russian government issues an instructor certification. And if
Mhm.
you're not certified through them, then you don't get to teach. And
Hmm.
there's a separate testing certification, which I had never heard of before. So if you're not a certified testing instructor, you cannot test your own students, and you have to send them to another school to be tested.
That's actually more common than you think.
Really?
Yeah. I have a teacher certificate from Okinawa.
Okay. But you
In
don't have a testing certificate? Are
well,
they
that is
separate?
no, teaching and testing are the same.
Okay.
Your black belt certificate does not
Yes.
mean you can test or does not mean you can
Sure.
test people. You can teach
Sure.
whatever you want. You don't have to have a certain rank to teach. Sensei
Sure.
doesn't mean teacher, by the way.
Right.
Sensei
Sure.
means one who came before you. It has nothing to do with teaching. We
Yes.
use it as a teaching reference because if you want to
Mhm.
learn math, you want someone that did math already. If you want to learn
Right.
how to get to the top of Mount Everest, you don't want someone looking at a GPS for the first time. You want someone who's done it successfully.
Right.
So one who's already done what you want to do is the person you want to follow.
Mhm.
But so it doesn't mean teacher. But in a lot of the Okinawan organizations, you have what's called a Shihan certificate. And that gives you the right to promote people and give rank. Without that, you have to take them to somewhere else or the rank's not legit.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, so he was talking about how the reason that they are doing it is very specific. Like, you are taught kata and you drill kata, but you're not taught application of kata.
That's
So you have to like seek
honest,
that out.
That's okay. Even in Okinawa, in America, we consider our black belt expert level. In Okinawa, black belt's beginner level. Okay, your black belt in a lot of places where your martial art comes from. Now, the Russian government maybe do something just to profit for themselves. I do not know what they're doing, but I can speak on other places. In Okinawa, you go through the colored belts. All your black belt means is congratulations, you have your basics down good enough. I can start teaching you karate now. So a lot of places traditionally do not teach any application until you're a black belt. Now, in America, we start teaching application simply because Americans aren't as patient. We don't have the culture of patience that they do in other countries.
It's never a good reality to wake up to.
Well, I'm not putting us down. I'm just saying
right.
We don't have a culture of patience. We don't have a culture. We used to. We used to have a culture where you were expected to prove yourself. We used to have a culture here in America where you did not just, you're turned 18, you're a man now. You had to become a man. Okay? Other cultures still have all that, where you're expected to prove yourself. You know, in Okinawa, for instance, you know, they have to charge now because money is a thing.
Sure.
So if you pay money, it's so you can go in the dojo. That's what you paid money for. Congratulations, you paid your dues. You can come inside. Doesn't guarantee they're going to teach you. They might give you a broom and say, okay, just watch class and sweep up. They might do that for a week and see if you come back. If you get frustrated and leave, didn't prove yourself. Bye. Good riddance.
Right.
Do you have the patience to do what they say and the patience to prove yourself to them? Do you possess that? Do you want it bad enough? You want to be here. If I give you a broom every day.
That was a great one. It really was. I guess I need to go to Japan. I've always been afraid that if I go to Japan, I wouldn't want to come home because like maybe that is home to me. Like what if I enjoy it too much? Oof. My human condition is getting in my own way. My human condition is not doing something out of fear of enjoyment. So that's the work that I need to do, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Reach out to me via email, questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or ideas. Reach out to me, Gmail, if you just want to chat. Keep kicking, guys.